Hey, this is Drew Bennett from Ben Spark Family Adventures, back with another daily vlog, and this time we are going back to another one of the Batman Fortnite comics that have come out. This is issue number 4 of the Batman Fortnite 0 Point comic book, and I opened this one. I like this cover, and this is the one that's going to be part of the giveaway that I'm going to be doing once all 6 of the comics are released. So let's take a little bit closer look at the cover. So on the cover here, we got Batman, we've got Catwoman, we've got DeathStroke, then we've got 7, let's see, 5, yeah, we got 5 or so of the Fortnite characters, and we're going to get into that in the comic itself. So the issue number 3 left off with Deathstroke had Catwoman at gunpoint, and he says, "Drop the weapon, hands on your head." And Catwoman saying, "You idiot, threatening him won't help. He doesn't remember who I am." So, she can't be a bargaining chip because he doesn't remember, who she is or anything like that. So, why try using her as leverage? And so they end up fighting each other, and Deathstroke says, wait, this isn't necessary. And he said, "I'm not your enemy." And Catwoman says something about, you're fighting or that, certainly not showing that you aren't our enemy. And he says, "Fine, if that's the way it has to be, I surrender." So he surrenders over his katana to Batman. And then he starts to talk to Batman about being outside the loop, and then Batman suddenly gets all of the memories from every single one of the times through the loop that he's had. So every single time he's gone through the loop and done a battle royale, all that gets compounded with every single memory of it coming back all at once. So he's relived that same thing, I don't know, maybe thousands of times, and all of those thousands of memories just pour into him at one point. So what happens is, people who come out of the loop end up being they can be pretty violent because of what is all happening in their head the minute they get out. So we've got the next part here, and at the top of the screen, Deathstroke is talking. He said, "I got out weeks ago, pure luck really, killed everyone else, and happened to be in the exact center of the storm." That is something that took Batman a really long time to figure out. He had to plan. He had to just keep looking and trying to figure out exactly how it was that he was going to get out of the loop. And then Deathstroke says, "And I'm not the first." And you see a harpoon Catwoman's whip and knocks it away. And so what we get here is a group of some of the characters from the game. And, if I can't really read that too well there. It says, "We don't want to overwhelm you, but we've all been where you are and come to the same conclusion. Some powerful beings brought us here. But if there's a way in, there's also a way out. The only way we'll find it is together." And then one of the Fortnite characters speaks, "And if they stand in the way of us getting home, the only way we can beat them is together." And so this is the first time we're seeing characters outside speak in Fortnite, and Fortnite characters speak too. So that's pretty interesting. And we get to we see that this is Renegade Raider who is speaking, and she says, "Bat and Cat, right? We call One Eye here Deathstroke. You've seen him fight. You can imagine why. And the others call me Raider. I've been here the longest, almost 4 years. I know how you feel. Most of us, our instinct is not to trust others." So got them all there. And then they kind of go around and do like little introductions as to who they are. I do want to point out that there was an advertisement for the different DC comics, and I don't know if it was last time I talked about the comics, I mentioned that I really wish they would put a particular character in as a skin, and that character's name is Grifter. And Grifter was from a team called Wildcats, and that is Grifter right there. And doesn't he look like he would be a perfect character to have in Fortnite? I mean, he's already got the dual pistols. I mean, perfect. He would be perfect. So, just little diversion there. Okay, so Batman talks with Raider He says, Raider, is it 4 years? You've had the most time to explore. What do you know? And she says, well, let's start with the obvious. This is the whole world. And she goes through, talks about the island, and she starts talking about that there were different events on the island. At least some were definitely not natural events. One was a device clearly made by intelligent beings, intelligent and with vast resources. So there, someone out there, is pulling the strings. So we now go. Given the time you've had and the limited geography, I expect you've explored the island thoroughly. She says, yeah, and found some interesting stuff. This looks pretty old. I'm not sure if the images represent some kind of religion or what, but it looks like people being taken from elsewhere and brought here by those godlike figures, whoever they are. So it looks almost like a rift, and people are being pulled into the rift by people, shadowy figures behind the scenes. All right, and then there was something leading up to this, and basically, so Batman is talking with the group, and he says they're coming from different portals, presumably different locations. Some of us could come from the same place, but based on technology and biology, some clearly. And then the Eternal Voyager says, did not. Agreed. And then Fishstick says, yeah, we figured that out. No offense, but you're obviously not the world's greatest detective or anything. Bit of a joke there, because that is one of Batman's monikers, is he is the world's greatest detective. I mean, they call DC Comics is Detective Comics. And so it's kind of funny there that they... that Fishstick calls him out in that way. So then we have another panel here. I'm just going over the basics, trying to figure out what we know, what we think we know, and how to fill in the blanks. Okay, we're going to re-explore the island and the areas around it. He says Fishstick, they call me. I get the feeling I should find it offensive, but this whole place I find offends me, so... I guess not going to really bother him too much. And then Batman continues on, I want an aerial map of the island as soon as possible. The rest of us will divide into sectors and search them. Anything noteworthy at all, report it in. And Bandolette says, hold on a damn minute. Why should we listen to you? And all Batman does is turn and look. He gives a look, and Deathstroke goes, well, that's good enough for me. And, everybody else agrees. So, kind of makes sense. Then we have next. So they all go off on groups, and Batman goes with Catwoman, and they try to define, how they know each other. What he found that they should talk, and we may not know where we're from, but it's clearly the same place, and there's a connection between them, and it's undeniable that they have a connection, and Catwoman says, sure, but was it friends? Are we enemies? Co-workers? Husband and wife? She's cheeky throughout the whole thing. I don't know. It doesn't matter. What does matter is that we know from what's happened since we've been here that we can trust each other, and perhaps nobody else. We're probably the only people we can trust is the two of us. Okay, so after a while, they come back together, and they're trying to figure out, different ways in which they can get out. And he says, we can't open rifts, which leaves one option. And Magnus says, we're not idiots, man. We've dug and found naught but dirt. And said, then we're digging in the wrong place. This device that rose up and the tower that replaced it, he's like, we've explored it. It's impenetrable, and the energy it gives off fries any tech, so, couldn't get too close. So they're trying to find a way out, but they're not finding a way out. So they're trying to systematically figure it out. And then Batman says, well, then it leaves the hatches. 3 in all, never, to our knowledge, have they opened. And through this, Batman says to them, all right, well, these hatches, whether or not they're for people to that are controlling things behind the scenes, they wouldn't only be openable from one side. They had to be openable from both sides, because if somebody gets caught outside, they need a way back into the hatch. And so they try to figure that out. And what they do with some gadget that Batman has is they find different particular energy signatures, and they use that on the hatch, and it actually opens the hatch. They can try thousands of different ways, but they finally find one in which opens the hatch. And then they go down and explore what's in the hatch. Now, first they come across this giant stone monster, but I thought in the comics it really didn't look that great, so I didn't bother to show that. But they fight this stone monster. It has like glyphs on its head, and they basically take out the glyphs, and that stops the monster. But further in, they find that there's like a staging area. It has weapons, it has harvesting tools, it has back bling, it has all different things, outfits, different stuff, before people go out into the island. And this is like a staging area. So it seems like the island is built in layers upon itself. So these is like some like more ancient things that are happening in here. Maybe vaulted items. So we've got that. Now, while they're out there, right before they went down to inspect the hatch, Batman sent Fishstick under the water to check for any traps or anything like that. Now, Fishstick they find him inside the underground. I guess he got out of the water and came in, or he came up through something. Who knows? We don't even know. But he's found under some rubble, and he's in a really bad way. And so Batman sends Catwoman off to get as much water as possible. She's on it. She runs off to get it. And Fishstick gives Batman an item. It says heavily rusted, non-functional, but if there's anything left in its storage battery, he says, yes, energy similar to those at the epicenter of the storm. I think this device can create a field of that energy, which means in theory, and then he says his theory there is the technology in that device resembles the technology here. They were made by the same people. But all indicators are that the people here fled further into the facility. Why would someone go outside the hatch and close it, then discard this device unless that's not what's happening at all? And Fishstick then says to him, someone is lying. They didn't escape the loop. They were never in it. They remember everything. One of us is working for, and then he dies. And Batman says, one of us is working for them. So at this point, we're wondering, who is it that's the double agent? Many indicators, put you on towards its being Deathstroke. Possible. It could possibly be one of the Fortnite characters. Maybe Renegade Raider. Maybe it could be one of the other ones that, who knows? We don't know who it is that is actually working for them. IO or whoever it exactly is. We don't know. We got 2 more issues to find out. What is your thought? Who in the group is the one who is working for them, and who is actually not? Who's lying? I want to know who's lying. Who do you think is lying? And what do you think is going to happen in the next 2 final issues of this comic? We've got another month to go before they're all done. And once that is, I am going to do a giveaway of all 6 of the comics. That will give you all 6 of the items, plus the special Batman, I think it's an armored Batman outfit that you'll get from having, when you use all of the codes, you automatically will get that Batman outfit. Anyway, it's Drew Bennett from Ben Spark Family Adventures. You can find me on Instagram and Twitter as Ben Spark, Facebook.com/Ben Spark Family Adventures, and you can find me here making videos all the time. Now, also, I want to point out that at the end of the comic, there is the Deathstroke Destroyer Glider. That was the special item that you get inside the comic book. And that was, I believe, 800 V-Bucks. If you wanted to get the Deathstroke Zero Bundle, that is 2,000 V-Bucks. But if you bought the comic, which is $5 in a comic book store, you get that glider part for free, and so that you get the whole bundle for 1,200 V-Bucks. And if you're going to buy something in the item store, please consider using my creator code, my supporter creator code, which is BenSpark96. And I would certainly appreciate that. Thank you.